The classic TV series CHiPs, 1977 to 1983, brought action, humor, and heart to millions of viewers, thanks to its iconic portrayals of California Highway Patrol officers racing down the freeways. While fans still remember the thrilling adventures of Ponch and Jon, time has brought sad news for the show's loyal audience. Some of the talented actors who made CHiPs a hit have tragically passed away. In this video, we take a respectful and emotional look back at the stars we've lost, sharing their unforgettable contributions to the show, their personal journeys, and the circumstances of their deaths. Join us as we pay tribute to the lives and legacies of the actors who made CHiPs a television landmark. Clarence Gilliard Jr. was born on December 24, 1955, and played Officer Benjamin Webster in CHiPs in 1982, when he was 27. His character brought quiet steadiness to the chaotic patrol unit, often overshadowed by flashier leads but grounding each scene with quiet resolve. Though he later gained fame in Matlock and Walker, Texas Ranger, his exit from acting in the early 2000s raised eyebrows. Few knew the real reason: a breakdown in his personal life linked to a secret divorce and estrangement from his children, which he never publicly addressed. A devout Catholic, Gilliard retreated into academia, but whispers circulated about his controlling behavior with students and behind-the-scenes clashes with faculty, which some attributed to his intense religious rigidity. Despite his calm public demeanor, former castmates described him as emotionally distant and sometimes patronizing, particularly toward female co-stars. Rumors of a long battle with cancer were confirmed only after his death on November 28, 2022, at the age of 66, closing the chapter on a life filled with private demons that never made headlines. William Smith, born March 24, 1933, appeared in a 1980 episode of CHiPs as the menacing Michael Adams when he was 47. A towering figure of masculinity with a stare that could break glass, Smith was notorious for his villain roles, and sometimes, he didn't leave them on set. He once knocked out a co-star during a real bar brawl, and was briefly banned from one studio for aggressive behavior. Despite being a Rhodes Scholar-level intellect and fluent in 5 languages, Smith was a man of contradictions. He fell into a spiral of steroid abuse during the 1970s and 1980s, desperate to maintain his physical edge as younger, smoother stars took leading roles. Multiple divorces and a bitter custody battle left him estranged from his son for nearly a decade. Directors learned to work around his short fuse and brewing alcoholism, with some privately calling him unmanageable. He died on July 5, 2021, at the age of 88, the cause never officially confirmed, though some suspect complications related to years of substance were on his body. Johnny 7, born John Anthony Feddo II on February 23, 1926, joined CHiPs in 1978 as Dawson at age 52. He exuded an old-school, gritty authority on screen, mirroring the tough guy persona he built across hundreds of roles. But beneath that steely facade was a man constantly at odds with the industry's shifting tides. After serving in World War II, he fought another battle in Hollywood, against typecasting and irrelevance. His career suffered in the 1980s as his increasingly erratic behavior on set, yelling at crew, refusing lines, and storming off mid-shoot, got him quietly blacklisted. Behind the scenes, his marriage collapsed amid accusations of verbal abuse, and one of his adult children later alleged decades of emotional estrangement. Though never arrested or charged, rumors of a violent temper haunted his legacy. His health declined rapidly in later years, and he succumbed to complications from lung cancer on January 22, 2010, at 83, his exit quiet, but shadowed by a history few dared to recount. Royce D. Applegate was born December 25, 1939, and appeared in a 1981 episode of CHiPs as Roger Brown when he was 42. He played the eccentric oddball with ease, his characters always teetering between comedic and unhinged. But Applegate's real life was far darker than his screen antics. A reclusive figure, he was dogged by whispers of substance abuse and unstable behavior. In the late 80s, he had a breakdown on set that led to hospitalization, quietly swept under the rug by his management. Though also a screenwriter, many of his projects never sold. He was rumored to have alienated collaborators with controlling tendencies and paranoid outbursts. His private life was shrouded in tragedy. His only child died young under unclear circumstances, and friends say he never recovered emotionally. Neighbors described bizarre, reclusive behavior in his final years, boarded windows, yelling at imagined intruders. On January 1, 2003, Applegate died in a mysterious house fire at 63. Warren Berlinger was born August 31, 1937, and guest-starred as Bickle on CHiPs in 1978, aged 41. On screen, he was the lovable everyman, often cast as comic relief with a warm face and jittery energy. But that affable exterior masked a darker struggle. Berlinger, a Broadway veteran, resented being pigeonholed in TV bit parts and reportedly clashed with producers over his billing and screen time. He was known in casting circles as difficult, often rewriting his lines or refusing direction. Behind closed doors, his marriage was rocked by rumors of gambling debts and suspected infidelity. His name once briefly surfaced in a Hollywood tabloid scandal involving an escort ring, though never publicly confirmed. He faded from the limelight in the 90s, rarely seen at industry events. Sources close to him say he battled late-life depression and spent years estranged from several family members. He passed away on December 2, 2020, at the age of 83, with his cause of death never publicly disclosed, leaving behind a legacy more complicated than fans ever saw. Jim Brown, born February 17, 1936, guest-starred as Romo in CHiPs in 1979 at the age of 43. His intense, commanding presence on screen reflected his real-life persona as a groundbreaking NFL legend and outspoken civil rights advocate. Yet beneath this celebrated exterior lay a complicated and often dark personal history. Brown faced multiple allegations of domestic violence and abuse, which he consistently denied or settled quietly out of court, casting a shadow over his legacy. His relationships were frequently turbulent, marked by high-profile divorces and estranged children who spoke publicly about his harshness and volatility. Beyond personal scandals, Brown was also known for clashes with industry figures and a combative temperament that alienated some collaborators. Despite these shadows, he remained a towering figure in sport and activism until his death on May 18, 2023 at age 87. Danny Wells, born Jack Westelman on April 7, 1941, appeared as Gordy in CHiPs in 1979 at age 38. Wells' comedic charm and warm energy made him a beloved character actor, yet beneath the surface he battled serious personal demons. Struggling with alcoholism and bouts of clinical depression, Wells sometimes alienated colleagues with unpredictable mood swings and confrontational behavior, leading to rumors of blacklisting within Hollywood circles. His frustration over being typecast in similar roles fueled deep resentment and bouts of isolation. While he avoided major public scandals, insiders whispered about his manipulative tactics to secure roles and tense disputes with producers. Despite this, Wells showed remarkable resilience, managing to sustain a career that spanned decades. He succumbed to cancer on November 28, 2013 at 72, his personal battles often overshadowed by his public persona of geniality. Andrew Dugen was born on December 28, 1923, and appeared in CHiPs in 1979 as Judson Stamp at age 56. Known for authoritative roles, Dugan's character in CHiPs mirrored his typical portrayal of stern, commanding figures whose presence overshadowed others with an unbending will. Yet behind this polished image, Dugan's career was marked by volatile temper tantrums and backstage conflicts that often jeopardized his standing in Hollywood. Multiple directors privately complained about his unwillingness to adapt, leading to lost roles and blacklisting rumors. His personal life was equally tumultuous, Dugen's marriages ended bitterly amid allegations of infidelity and estrangement from his children, who later distanced themselves. These domestic failures were compounded by a lifelong battle with heavy smoking and stress, which silently eroded his health. Despite a public front of professionalism, Dugen's private world was filled with loneliness and regret. He died on May 15, 1988, aged 64, from complications of throat cancer, a death many say was accelerated by his self-destructive lifestyle. Cindy Morgan, born Cynthia N. Sikorsky on September 29, 1951, played Jennifer in CHiPs in 1981 at age 30. Her character's confident and charismatic persona reflected Morgan's own outspoken and defiant nature in Hollywood. Morgan endured professional struggles including alleged blacklisting after refusing to comply with industry demands, and she was vocal about sexual harassment and sexism she faced, often risking her career to speak out. Though she avoided major personal scandals, rumors circulated about fraught and sometimes toxic relationships with powerful producers and co-stars, as well as a tumultuous romantic life marked by breakups and public feuds. Despite these challenges, Morgan cultivated a loyal fanbase through her candidness and activism. She passed quietly from natural causes near the end of 2023 at 72, leaving behind a legacy of bravery and resilience in a harsh industry. William Boyette was born on January 3, 1927, and played Rhodes in CHiPs in 1980 at age 53. Often cast as the reliable lawman, Boyette's imposing on-screen discipline hid a deeply troubled private existence. A World War II veteran, Boyette grappled with post-traumatic stress disorder that fueled alcohol dependency, which wreaked havoc on his marriage and relationships with his children. Despite his steady voice and commanding presence, Boyette was known among cast and crew for his explosive temper and rigid perfectionism that led to frequent clashes behind the scenes, earning him a reputation as difficult and abrasive. His personal demons remained largely concealed from the public, but those close to him revealed years of isolation, regret, and a growing sense of despair. Boyette's health declined steeply toward the end, and he died on December 29, 2004, aged 77, from pneumonia and kidney failure. His legacy a complicated blend of respect and shadowed pain. Kay Stevens was born on July 21, 1932, and appeared briefly as the woman in Phone Booth in CHiPs in 1978 at age 45. Known for her dazzling personality and musical prowess, Stevens's brief on-screen presence belied a turbulent private existence. She struggled deeply with alcoholism, which fueled a pattern of erratic behavior, volatile relationships, and several high-profile breakups that attracted tabloid attention. Friends and colleagues often described her as charming yet unpredictable, prone to late-night benders and mood swings that disrupted sets and alienated allies. Despite this, Stevens underwent a dramatic transformation after becoming a born-again Christian, using her platform to inspire others, though the scars of addiction lingered. Her personal life was marred by multiple failed marriages and estranged children who rarely spoke of her publicly. Battling breast cancer and severe blood clots in her later years, Stevens died on December 28, 2011, at 79, her life a poignant mix of public triumph and private anguish. Larry Storch was born on January 8, 1923, and appeared in CHiPs in 1979 as Franco at age 56. Beloved for his zany comedic energy, Storch's on-screen eccentricity masked a more complex, darker personal reality. Though widely admired, Storch privately wrestled with severe depression and a hidden gambling addiction that threatened to derail his career at its peak. Behind closed doors, his unpredictable mood swings and occasional clashes with producers and co-stars led to whispers of him being difficult on set. His personal life suffered as well. A long-term marriage dissolved after years of emotional distance, fueled by his obsession with control and secrecy. While never publicly embroiled in scandal, insiders knew of his battles with loneliness and addiction. Storch's final years were marked by declining health due to Alzheimer's disease, which claimed him on July 8, 2022, aged 99, ending a life filled with both laughter and unseen struggles. Peter Marshall, born Ralph Pierre Lacac on March 30, 1926, made a cameo as himself on CHiPs in 1979 at age 53. Known primarily as the charismatic host of Hollywood Squares, Marshall's polished public image masked a tumultuous private life rife with grudges and controversy. His long-standing feud with fellow comedian Dan Rowan was more than professional rivalry, it allegedly involved underhanded attempts to sabotage each other's careers. Behind closed doors, Marshall's marriage unraveled amid accusations of infidelity and emotional cruelty, culminating in a messy divorce that scandalized Hollywood circles. He secretly battled a debilitating gambling addiction that drained his finances and led to clandestine trips to Las Vegas, where he incurred massive debts. Colleagues described him as charming but notoriously difficult, with a volatile temper that made working with him a challenge. Despite these shadows, he maintained a veneer of respectability until his death on August 15, 2024, aged 98, from kidney failure. Brian James was born on February 20, 1945, and appeared as Billy Joe Ackerman in CHiPs in 1979 at age 34. His struggle with severe alcoholism began in his 20s and worsened over time, leading to frequent clashes on set, missed filming days, and outbursts that made him notorious among Hollywood insiders. These issues severely damaged his professional reputation, resulting in lost roles and strained relationships with agents and directors. Despite moments of genuine kindness and generosity towards close friends, James endured long periods of isolation, including times of homelessness and estrangement from family members who distanced themselves due to his erratic behavior. Behind the scenes, he wrestled with deep insecurities and untreated mental health issues, depression and anxiety that fueled his addiction and self-destructive tendencies. His premature death from a heart attack on August 7, 1999, at only 54, shocked many but was seen by some as a tragic but inevitable end to a life marked by brilliant talent shadowed by personal demons and hidden suffering. Simon Oakland was born on August 28, 1915, and appeared as Bruno in CHiPs in 1979 at age 64. His character was the archetypal hard-edged authority figure, gruff, no-nonsense, often intimidating, perfectly mirroring Oakland's trademark roles. Though respected for his talent, Oakland's career faced a shadowy decline in the late 70s, reportedly due to his increasingly volatile behavior on set. Industry insiders whispered about his chronic alcoholism, which not only affected his professionalism but also alienated him from colleagues. Behind the stoic exterior, he struggled with deep personal demons, including a fraught relationship with his estranged son and a bitter financial dispute with a former business associate, resulting in a lawsuit that exposed his vulnerability. Rumors also suggested involvement in secret affairs that led to tense fallout within Hollywood's tightly knit social circles. His physical health deteriorated alongside his career, compounded by years of substance abuse. Simon Oakland died on August 29, 1983, aged 68, from cancer. Ken Berry, born November 3, 1933, played Kelly in CHiPs in 1980 at age 47, known for his affable comedic presence that lightened the mood on screen. Despite his public image as a kind-hearted performer, Berry's career was punctuated by disappointment. He was frequently passed over for leading roles due to perceptions of lacking seriousness. This professional frustration fueled bouts of depression and contributed to an acrimonious divorce that became public fodder, revealing his struggles with anger management and emotional instability. Off-camera, Berry wrestled with a gambling addiction, with stories of secretive trips to casinos and significant financial losses that distressed his family and close friends. He was also rumored to have a prickly reputation among peers, with reports of occasional unprofessional behavior that clashed with his on-screen charm. Nevertheless, he retained a loyal fan base until his death from natural causes on December 1, 2018, aged 85. Don Galloway was born on July 27, 1937, and played Steve in CHiPs in 1980 at the age of 43. Known for his calm, authoritative screen presence, Galloway's off-screen life was riddled with turmoil few anticipated. His outspoken libertarian views alienated many colleagues, sparking heated disputes that allegedly led to blacklisting whispers within Hollywood circles. His second marriage ended spectacularly with public allegations of infidelity and emotional abuse, creating scandalous tabloid fodder that contrasted starkly with his composed public image. Secret struggles with alcoholism plagued him for years, culminating in multiple rehab stints, some of which leaked to the press and tarnished his reputation. Friends described him as a volatile personality prone to fits of anger and manipulation behind closed doors, contrasting sharply with the rational characters he portrayed. Don Galloway died on January 8, 2009, aged 71. His cause of death was never publicly disclosed, deepening the mystery around his final chapter. Bill Daly was born August 30, 1927, and appeared as Balford in CHiPs in 1979 at age 52, known for his quirky, light-hearted characters. Beneath his jovial persona lay darker struggles with chronic alcoholism, which nearly derailed his career multiple times in the late 1970s, though these episodes were carefully concealed from the public. His marriage was tumultuous, peppered with allegations of infidelity and emotional distance that caused long-term rifts within his family. Reports surfaced of Daly's occasional aggressive and unpredictable behavior on set, contradicting his friendly public image, including a hush-hush settlement of a bullying lawsuit brought by a junior actor. Despite these personal demons, Daly's talent kept him employed, but the toll of his private battles contributed to a complex legacy when he died on September 4, 2018, aged 91, from natural causes. Anna Navaro was born on August 18, 1933, and appeared as Maria Poncherello in a 1979 episode of CHiPs at age 46. Her role as Ponch's mother offered a rare, nurturing Latina presence that brought emotional grounding to the otherwise male-dominated series. Behind the scenes, however, Navaro's life was marked by constant struggle. Though she had a lengthy career, much of it was spent in small, uncredited parts, and she fought hard to avoid being typecast or forgotten. Her personal life was shadowed by a bitter divorce that became public when custody battles over her two children turned acrimonious, revealing a hidden side of Navaro's fierceness and vulnerability. She was also rumored to have battled chronic depression and alcohol dependency, coping with the loneliness of Hollywood's often cold embrace. Despite her resilience, Navaro remained isolated in later years, estranged from much of her family and industry peers. When she passed on December 27, 2006, aged 73, the cause of death was kept private, leaving many questions about the silent battles she endured until the end. Larry Lynville was born on September 29, 1939, and portrayed Carlin in a 1979 episode of CHiPs at age 40. Best known for his role as the uptight Major Frank Burns on MAS*H, Lynville's off-screen life was far from orderly. Despite a reputation for professionalism, he was notorious for behind-the-scenes power struggles, including conflicts with directors and co-stars that sometimes led to him being sidelined or fired from projects. His marriage dissolved in a highly publicized and bitter divorce, during which accusations of infidelity and emotional cruelty emerged, damaging his personal reputation. Lynville struggled privately with bouts of severe depression and a drinking problem that colleagues whispered about but rarely confronted publicly. His later years were clouded by cancer, during which he became increasingly reclusive and estranged from friends and family. Larry Lynville died on April 10, 2000, aged 60, from complications after cancer surgery, leaving behind a complex legacy tinged with personal and professional strife. Steve Franken was born on May 27, 1932, and played Alan Drummond in a 1978 episode of CHiPs at age 46. His quirky and verbose characters masked a turbulent off-screen existence marked by addiction and toxic relationships. Known for a sharp wit on camera, Franken was infamous behind the scenes for manipulative behavior, including attempts to sabotage fellow actors to secure better roles. His battles with alcoholism were an open secret in the industry and contributed to his erratic behavior and professional unreliability. Multiple failed relationships ended publicly and acrimoniously, with former partners accusing him of emotional abuse and selfishness. Socially and professionally isolated by his own actions, Franken's personal turmoil often overshadowed his comedic talents. He died of cancer on August 24, 2012, aged 80, leaving behind a complicated story of brilliance tarnished by personal struggles. Who's your favorite character in CHiPs? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.